Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Father.
Glory to Jesus Christ.
Glory forever.
So, on the minds and tongues of many is a school shooting that happened recently. God rest the souls of the victims. I must say, though, that I'm a little surprised at how surprised everyone is with this. We must not have been paying attention. We just simply must not have been paying attention. And don't get me wrong, I don't expect everyone to be paying as close of attention to these things as me. The values that America holds recently came out in the Wall Street Journal. And it compared 1998, 2019. This is the scary part, folks. 2019, only a couple of years ago, to today on our values. So, who would guess what our modern day people of 2023 said were the three most important things to them as a value, as a life value?
Money.
Money is one of them.
Entertainment.
Self-fulfillment was one of them. Although if they were honest, entertainment would be in there, right? But I think self-satisfaction would be generally in that category. And hard work, believe it or not, is one of them. I'm not sure if we actually see that carried out in our modern culture. Tolerance for others came next. Community involvement came next. I don't believe that for a second because the statistics don't bear that out. But it had dropped, though. Community involvement has dropped regularly over the years. Patriotism. Then after that comes marriage, then having children. And in the 9 categories, belief in God, of the 8 categories, 9 categories, belief in God and faith/religion/church were the bottom of the barrel. Actually, patriotism ranked lower than them, but it was the biggest drop in faith and in belief in God. So, as one who studied these things many years ago, and by the way, no one in this parish has to worry about people who might walk through the door and have some negative thoughts towards us, because we are thoroughly prepared in this parish for such an occasion. We have people watching over us, just like in airplanes. You don't know that there's federal marshals on them, right? We're prepared. But that being said, I remember growing up, and I went to my grandparents' house, and in the spare room where we played, there was an unlocked gun cabinet, right? Because they didn't have locked gun cabinets back then. It was just a cabinet. I went to school. We didn't have school shootings. I went to my friend's house, my friend's grandparents' house. They had unlocked gun cabinets. My friends who went to other schools didn't have school shootings. And my parents' generation didn't either. My grandparents' generation didn't either. Just a handful. Actually, since the mid-1800s until the 1970s, just handfuls of school shootings. Mid-1800s, 1850s. And then it changed. 1970s. What happened? What do you suppose happened? That all of a sudden we would lead to handfuls to 40, and then in the 1980s to 60, then in the 1990s to 95. Then in the 2000s it actually dropped to 80. And then it spiked to 235 in the 2010s. Now I don't know if you're that good at math, but that's insane. And guess what? We've over doubled that in the past 2 years. Scary stuff. I'll tell you what's changed. These values. 1994, new Jack Hustler came out, right? Wesley Snipes. And what was that about? Money. But way back in the 70s it started. What also happened in the 70s? What else happened?
Break up a family.
Break up of families for sure. Right? Women are independent. Leave your men. Families. We're going to redefine what a family is. That's one of them. Was that?
Patriotism.
There was a shift in patriotism after Vietnam for sure. Yeah, during Vietnam, yes. There's a shift in patriotism.
Sexual revolution.
Sexual revolution. And what came along with that in 1973?
Abortion pills.
Right, abortion. The legalization of abortion. And so we said life doesn't matter anymore, and then we're surprised that life doesn't matter anymore. Why are we surprised in this? And I'll tell you, what's really interesting about this whole statistic thing is 1990s, and then, wait, Father, you're telling me there was less in the 2000s than there was in the 1990s? Yes, there was. Guess what there was also less of, or I should say more of? There was more people who were pro-life in the 2000s than there were in the 1990s. The country actually turned back to being pro-life in the 2000s. And then we made a major shift against it. Celebrate our abortions. Women are standing on street corners, ripping apart dolls and saying, I have the right to kill my child. I mean, this is, and so across the board, notice there wasn't one thing that wasn't on this list at all, was life. Was holding life as a valuable thing. Yeah, way back in New Jack City, money, right? Money, and do what you can to get the money. We have many such shows today. We have 52 congressmen that are openly practicing insider trading. Because guess what? The way they do it, it's apparently not illegal for them. The SEC can't do it. Only Congress can impeach Congress. You got that right. There's another song from the 1970s, Bring Lawyers, Guns, and Money, right? This all happened with a shift in life, in what became valuable to us when it shifted from life to money, when it shifted from family to, let's redefine family. And now we're at the point where we're redefining what is human. I'll tell you who else did that, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi regime. You think he started with Jews? No. Guess who the Nazis started with? Eliminating.
Disabled.
The disabled. That's where he started with. The disabled. Right? Pull up your handicap signs. We don't even need them. We're going to get rid of these people. They're a burden on society. Because they're subhuman, right? That was the logic. No, my friends. Blessed is the man who makes the Lord his trust and does not respect the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies. Today, it's okay to lie culturally. It's okay to lie to get what you want. That is not a Christian value. Satan is called the father of lies. Today we need more than ever truth. And that's another thing that wasn't on this list, truth. Truth and life. What does Christ say? I am the way, the truth, and the life. So what are we supposed to value most? The way, right? The faith is the way. Truth and life. From him who is the way, the truth, and the life. And so that we've gotten so far off path that those aren't even on the list anymore. It should not surprise us. Christ says scandals will come, offenses will come, but woe to those by whom they come. And woe to us who participate and just let it happen. So, suicide and homicide are through the roof. After we said that life isn't meaningful. We've removed everything that makes life meaningful. It is nihilism or nihilism. It's promoted by media and our government and by large corporatist entities that want you as a consumer. Let me ask you something. Does that term creep anyone else out? That they've called us consumers? You're a consumer. This is like, I don't know if anyone remembers, there used to be a Pac-Man cartoon way back in the 1980s. And there was the scary vampire Pac-Man. He was a consumer. He was going this is what our government and every large corporation views us as. Large, scary vampire Pac-Man. But that is not what we were created to do. No, indeed. We were created to make the world a better place. And so, are we willing to sacrifice our nice, comfy life for what is right and good? We talked a couple weeks ago about that Jesus said we must take up our cross and follow him. So in our Christian walk, some of us would like to be way over there in holiness, right? I should say way over there in holiness. Way up there in holiness. We'd like to be like Wile E. Coyote and shoot ourselves out of a cannon across the Grand Canyon to the spiritual oasis on the other side. But guess what? You don't sprint to the cross. You pace yourself, and it is one step at a time, my friends. We can lament that we're not one of the great saints of old. But we're not going to be that in one day or in 1 week. We're going to be that. We're going to be our own saint that God is making us. Right? We can have saints that we look to as patrons, but God is making you your own saint. And your saintly path is one step at a time with Christ, walking humbly with your God. So, my friends, there's one thing for us to do, left for us to do in all of this. And that is for us to start being very intentionally Christian in all of our walk of life. Not to trim moral corners, but to be a light to others in this world. I am the light of the world. And then Christ said, I made you the light of the world. When we light candles in church, that should be on our minds. What's the meaning of light? I am the light of the world. I made you the light of the world. Now go out and light up the darkest places. Let our intentional Christianity go to the dark places of life. And some dark places might be coworkers who we don't know are suffering from depression or family members or whatever. But when they see God living within us to will and to do of His good pleasure, then we will start lighting up those dark corners that even are within inside of us. Let's be boldly honest when everyone else is lying and cheating. Let's be boldly courageous when everyone else is being cowardly. Let us practice justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with our God by His grace. Lord, grant us the grace to desire it. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.